This program is paid for by The Crossover with Marlon and Armon. Subscribe to their show-owned content at youtube.com/@thecrossover1060.
You're now tuned in to The Crossover with Marlon Jones and Armon Williams.
Hold up, you're teaming up a Sun Devil and a Wildcat? Who came up with that brilliant idea?
The Crossover on KDUS AM 1060.
Crossover with Marlon and Armon, KDUS 1060. My name is Armon, but I go by the Hammer. My partner, Marlon Big Showtime Jones, he goes by Showtime. If you're listening to us live, please do us a solid. When you have an opportunity, go to our YouTube channel and our Facebook page and subscribe to our YouTube channel and our Facebook page. It's if you're on YouTube, if it's YouTube, it's at the Crossover 1060. So youtube.com/at the Crossover 1060. And if it's on Facebook, it would be facebook.com/just the Crossover 1060. So once again, that's facebook.com/the Crossover 1060. All right, I'm here in the studio with my partner Marlon Big Showtime Jones. Big Showtime, what's going on, man? How was your break?
Good. Just did a lot of stuff with my club team. Enjoyed the holiday with the family, and glad to be back.
Yeah, it was good to be at. You had a good Thanksgiving?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's always good.
You enjoyed that ass whooping that the U of A put on ASU, the Territorial Cup, the last one in the Pac-12 conference.
Yeah. Well, all I know is y'all wanted to get to 70 so bad and you couldn't.
We could have if we wanted to. No, but I think Jed Fish decided to go ahead and pump the brakes on that a little bit. I don't think that was that important. I think what was more important was that they won the game. They came out healthy. It was a good game. And speaking of Pac-12, we're pretty much. We're near the end. I mean, it's pretty much it. And having said that, let's go to the opening buzz.
And now it's time for the opening buzz.
Locked down, and then you would expect punt it. Johnson makes a cut. Forget about that. Johnson, first down, slides down, and the Washington Huskies are going to win the final Pac-12 championship and punch a ticket to the college football playoff. And Dylan Johnson factored in 3 touchdowns tonight, 2 ending.
How awesome is this, man? Just take this in, Husky fans. Doubted by many all year, underdogs. Seems like on a weekly basis. The only team to the playoff.
Team of experienced, veteran, resilient survivors headed to the playoff. Michael Penix headed to New York, along with his counterpart, quarterback tonight.
These are not just 2 great quarterbacks. There's Bo Nix.
We'll have a bowl game if he chooses to play it.
Yeah, so soak that in, folks, because that is officially our last Pac-12 conference championship as we know it in this iteration. That's it. I mean, it was a hell of a game as you had the Washington Huskies played the Oregon Ducks, and they wound up beating the Oregon Ducks. And you had 2 Heisman frontrunners in Michael Penix Jr. and as well as Bo Nix from Oregon, and looked like for the second time this season that Washington got the better of Oregon as they won the game 34-31. It was an action-packed game. I don't know if you had a chance to watch it. I watched the entire game pretty much.
I watched a little bit of it. We had a scrimmage last night with my club, but I caught the end, the last 2 quarters, and it's too bad that Oregon couldn't make the playoff. That's a good team.
Yeah,
that's a really, really good team, and but kudos to Washington. That's another good team. They got through a lot of stuff this year, a lot of close, tough games. Actually, ASU gave them a tough game.
U of A only lost to them by 7. That was Noah Fafita's first start.
That's the first start,
yeah. A lot of people thought that it had Oregon State beaten Oregon in their just the prior week in their Civil War, their rivalry. Had they beaten them, Arizona would have went on to play Washington. A lot of people believe, at least down in Tucson, people believe that Washington could have been in trouble, serious trouble, had they faced U of A. But they had enough on their hands with Oregon The previous game that they won, they only beat Oregon by 3 points. So you're talking about as evenly a matchup as you could possibly have in the Pac-12 conference. That's Oregon and Washington,
Right.
And they brought really competitive football both games. Those were really, really fun games to watch.
Yeah. Now that's a good rivalry too. It's kind of an underrated rivalry between Washington and Oregon. I mean, I know those fans do not like each other.
Not at all.
Even more so than Oregon State or Washington State. I think Oregon and Washington has a nice little hate-filled rivalry that a lot of people don't know about.
They do hate each other. I don't know if it's quite it's definitely a rivalry. It's not quite Oregon State, even though that's a little bit more lopsided.
Mm-hmm.
But it certainly is it is a rivalry over the years, and especially now that Washington's got back up towards the top of the Pac-12. It's going to be the second time in a long time, second time since 2016 that a Pac-12 school will represent the college playoffs, the Final Four, and that last team was Washington.
Washington, yeah.
2016. I was a
was.
different coach. It was Doug Peterson.
Oh yeah, it was Doug Peterson. Yeah.
They
That's
came
right.
over from Boise State, but it's the first time since 2016 that a Pac-12 school will be in the Final Four, that will be in the playoffs, and it will be Washington again. Though the previous time that they got to the playoffs, they played Alabama. They lost to Alabama. It was something like 24-8.
Right.
That they lost to Alabama, and then Alabama went on and they faced off against Clemson, and I think Clemson wound up winning the championship. They obliterated Ohio State, and that was back in 2016. So there's a lot of last. So it's the last time that we had a Pac-12 conference championship, and it's the last time that we have this 4-team playoff system. Because next season they're going to go ahead and go to the 12-team format. So had it been a 12-team format thing, it still would have meant a lot to both of these teams, but maybe not so much to Oregon, because Oregon would definitely be in a 12-team.
Right.
They would be in the playoff if it was a 12-team format, and I'm actually kind of looking forward to that. I don't know about you, yeah. But I'm looking forward to that. And as far as the Pac-12 conference, it pretty much it will implode. Now, the one thing that will happen is through litigation from Oregon State and Washington State, they were able to keep the name of the Pac-12 conference. I read this just the other day. What's going to wind up happening is that Oregon State and Washington State, they'll play 6 Mountain West Conference opponents in 2024. So they're making kind of a loose merger with the Mountain West Conference.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Mountain West Conference, they'll play about 7 teams will get an opportunity to they'll play Oregon State and Washington State. They're adding them to their schedule, and then Washington State and Oregon State will play 6 of the Mountain West Conference opponents. They won't be part of the Mountain West Conference, but for the next couple seasons, at least for the next two seasons, they're going to go ahead and team up with the Mountain West Conference. They'll play a total of 6 games, 3 road games, 3 home games. Now, they won't be included as far as like the conference rankings in the Mountain West Conference, so they're not entitled to participate in any Mountain West Conference championships. But they're looking to make some kind of merger. And ultimately, I think what's going to happen is that the Mountain West Conference is probably going to do some type of merge with Washington State and with Oregon State, because there's some financial significance and some financial there's some leverage that Oregon State and Washington State have, because they're going to pay the Mountain West Conference combined $14 million for the next 2 seasons. To basically to be an opponent in their conference, to be able to participate, and there's still a lot of leverage, and there's still some prestige with that Pac-12 name.
And are they going to Oregon State, Washington State play each other at the end of the year for the Pac-2 championship?
The Pac-2? I don't know. It's going to be interesting, but I can kind of give you a breakdown. So the games will not count towards the Mountain West Conference standings. I already mentioned that. And neither school is eligible for the conference championship games. Now, the 2 teams, they'll play Mountain West combined. They'll pay the Mountain West to combine $14 million as part of the scheduling agreement. A source told ESPN, confirming a Yahoo Sports report. Now, along with the 6 Mountain West Conference matchups, the teams, Oregon State University and Wazoo, Washington State University, they'll face 5 power opponents and 1 FCS school. So this is going to be a whole lot of rearranging that they got to do. Obviously, the schools joining the Big 12 conference have to do, because their schedule is going to be, their conference schedules not going to be the same anymore. So that's Arizona State, that's Utah, that's Colorado going to the Big 12 conference next season. Especially their conference opponents are going to change. I don't know if they're going to change much their non-conference opponents, unless unless one of those opponents happens to be a Big 12 conference. It's going to be a whole lot of rearranging.
Yeah.
The same thing with UCLA, USC, with Oregon, and with Washington. It's going to be a whole lot of. It's going to be really interesting the next couple seasons.
And did you say that both those schools, Oregon State, Washington State, going to pay $14 million? So that's a nice little come up for the Mountain West Conference.
It's a huge. The two schools will pay the Mountain West a combined $14 million.
Combined,
so
okay, gotcha.
$7 million apiece.
Right, gotcha.
So it's not going to be $28 million. It'll be $14 million combined between both schools.
Still nice little come up for the Mountain West.
Absolutely, it's a nice come up for the Mountain West Conference, and then the Mountain West Conference will probably ultimately look to make some type of merger. And it'd be interesting whether or not they try to keep the Mountain West Conference name, or they just go ahead and they don the Pacific Athletic Conference name.
Sure.
That's going to be interesting. I think they'll try to probably. I don't know. I think that they'll probably go ahead and adopt the Pac-12 conference name because it's got more prestige than the Mountain West Conference does. The Mountain West Conference is a lot newer than the Pac-12 conference. There's still an opportunity probably for them to be kind of a mid-power conference because you're bringing on Oregon State, you're bringing on Wazoo. They have good football programs. They have pretty good. They have good enough tradition to be able to go ahead and keep up the name, and those schools get to keep all that money from the other schools that are exiting the Pac-12 conference, including Arizona State. So it's going to be really, really interesting. But it's a swan song. It was a fun game, and
it was a good game to watch. At least it wasn't a blowout or anything.
Yeah, and now we get to watch the bowl games and look forward to next season. All right, coming up next, we're going to have family nurse practitioner Dr. Amanda Jones on the show. She's coming on early on deck to tell us. I have a feeling she wants to talk about Oklahoma State University as they get ready to face Texas in the Big 12 championship. We'll do that coming up next on the Crossover KDUS 1060.